What's up, this squad? Back with another video. I seen that I was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. So y'all got it right here. I don't know if a lot of y'all saw, but Karmelo Anthony's mother and father basically said, you know, for them to have mercy on her son. I know a lot of y'all have seen this, but some have, you know, that didn't. I want y'all to check this out before we get into
his
other
mother
things
recounts the moment she addressed the jury and made her plea to them during the sentencing phase.
To have mercy on my son. That's what I told the jury. I know they had their minds made up already, so, I mean, really wasn't much I could say to change their mind.
Both parents fighting back emotions and tears as they described what they believe was a flawed trial.
We were delusional. We thought we was going to get a fair shake.
So they sitting here and they're saying these things, and this reason why I'm obviously going over this today. Obviously, we know, and again, to make it make more sense, you know, and I'm gonna play a video of Austin Metcalf's dad, you know, Jeff, basically explaining and saying, you know, that Karmelo Anthony's parents they wasn't even in, you know, the courtroom most of the time, you know, but they're asking, you know, to have mercy. And now, you know, as we get more into this video, they're wanting to do everything over, you know, within Karmelo. I find it sickening, and I find it sickening because at the end of the day, we have to start teaching, you know, our youth. We have to start doing better, you know, as parents, as role models. You know, as you know, leaders, if you consider yourself, you know, to do better, you know, to take that accountability, to more so, if you're in the wrong or you see somebody in the wrong, I mean, you're in the wrong at the end of the day, and he has to face those consequences. Check it out, Jeff.
Unfortunately, you know, the Anthonys still continue to deflect from the truth. The truth has been out there. The truth was exposed. There was no 411. There was no broken phone. All the lies have been debunked. And if they were at the trial during sentencing or during impact statement, they would have some more information, but they chose to abandon their child at that point and let him be there by himself. That alone, to me, says a lot about their parenting skills and who they are as people. That's a true reflection of their character. It has nothing at all to do with me. Unfortunately, you know,
that should tell everybody everything about it. You know, you truly have them that truly show they don't care. You know, it shows, you know, more so that they care more so about the money. They don't care. I feel like everybody else more so cares. And again, you know, just not, you know, taking their side or anything like that. I look at the simple fact that Karmelo definitely was in the wrong, but I do look at the simple fact that regardless, you got Karmelo Anthony and all these supporters that's more so of wanting this. His parents don't care about. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. You can definitely tell. You got it right here. Says Karmelo Anthony is moving to obtain a new trial despite, you know, evidence and finding, you know, he unalive Austin Metcalf. Says his lawyers are now fiercely claiming the trial was very unfair.
Hearings are set for next month in Texas as convicted Karmelo Anthony seeks a new trial. Anthony was found guilty of first-degree for stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf to death last year during a high school track meet. He claims it was self-defense. Anthony's lawyers argue the trial was effectively closed to the public, that prosecutors did not honor an off-the-record evidentiary agreement, and that the jury instructions were misleading. They also say the original judge was biased.
Let me tell y'all something. Everything within this case, I mean, it was one. I feel like within this case, this was an open and closed case. I don't look, you know, and again, you know, you're gonna have people that think otherwise, you know, even people that support me, you know, I love what I do, but I have to say that this is definitely an open and closed case just for the simple fact that everything was there. Everything was there. It was multiple witnesses, and I didn't see him getting out of this at all. You truly have it right here. It says Karmelo Anthony upcoming hearing update. Got it right here, and that is, and I want to make sure I got this right. August 19th, I'm pretty sure. Or, okay. August 20th. Says here the particular order applies specifically to the hearing concerning the defense's request to excuse Judge John Roach. It does not establish the same overflow room arrangement for the separate motion for the new trial hearing scheduled for August 20th. Then you have more down here, just to make it make more sense about this. The next important thing to watch will be what evidence and testimony are actually presented at that August 19th hearing. Okay, so it is August 19th. At that August 19th hearing, because that is when we will get a much clearer picture of the defense's factual basis for seeking Judge Roach's recusal. Not simply what has been alleged in the written motion. Now, let me tell y'all something. Me personally, I look at the simple fact that I don't feel it was. I feel like this is more so they're trying to make it more so a race thing. I feel like it, regardless, even if it were, and this is me just being real, even if it were, you putting let's say most black jurors on there, and it would have had, and again, I truly believe being a person, I know that we're all different. But just being a human being and being real, even though this is, they say this is first offense and this, that, and the other, I feel like going to the extreme of what Karmelo did, I don't see that it would be a difference, me personally. And I don't see that it would be a difference of the way that people would be acting as well. So, I don't know. Kind of iffy about that. You have right here, Sean Kent, Rick Chow's lawyer, shares insight into the Karmelo Anthony's case and why it was shocking that Karmelo Anthony never took the stand. This is Brandon Tatum that actually posted this, having this interview with him. Check it out.
Him not testifying, Brandon, is weird to me. In a self-defense case, where I come from, and I've tried a bunch of cases, he is a young kid who is supposedly very smart, very articulate, good-looking kid, small in stature. My two issues with watching that trial, again, this is not a whodunit. He did it. He took a human life. This is Texas. And, they will forgive a lot of stuff in Texas, but you need to look him in the eye and explain, why did you feel you had to do it? Why do you have a knife? Answer the question no one wants to think of. Bruh, why you got a knife in your bag?
Right.
I've never heard an answer to that question. Bro, why you got a knife? Get on the stand and tell people, look, I've been bullied. I've been threatened. I am scared. Something to humanize yourself. And I don't understand. And I did a post about it earlier, Brandon. I guess sometimes, the reason we don't put people on the stands, people ask me, why don't you put your client on the stand? One, if I can get their story out without them subject to cross-examination, I'm going to get it in. Rick Chow is a perfect example. Remember, I told you that statement. We got Rick Chow's statement out, and he didn't have to testify. I know Rick has very broken English.
Yes.
And so I'm like, Rick, and he was offended. He's just like, I want to testify. I'm like, you would be a witness. Why? Because you have trouble with the letter R. I was like,
that's true. It's true. Was it his son that testified?
It was his son.
It wasn't good because his English wasn't as good. He seemed to be hesitant on the responses, which made his credibility look bad. Even though it probably he wasn't hesitant. It's just that he probably trying to think through the English way to articulate this, and it did not look good for him. And I was like, God dang! I mean, if his story wasn't a story, this would look bad for him.
So I look at the simple fact that I feel as if even if he did take the stand, even if regardless of him trying to defend himself, it would have probably gave a better look, I feel. I don't know about y'all, but I definitely feel it gave her better. I don't want to, you say the wrong words. Not a better look, but it'll give us more understanding on his point of view, why he did what he did. And, I don't know. I don't know why I would like that. I just like a lot of information, I guess you can say. But I look at it still that regardless of him even doing that, it doesn't help his case seeing on what he did and how he did it. Him reaching in his bag, him pulling it out, things of that sort. So regardless, I look at the simple fact, regardless, you know, still that amount of years, you know, or close to it. You know, it says right here he didn't take the stand because he had no excuse for his actions. You know, and that's, I mean, it's true. I mean, he really didn't have an excuse for his actions. I mean, you truly have it right here, and he's been in trouble before.
I'm in shock because it's like I wouldn't expect that from him. I only know him fighting and stuff, like, you know, but.
So if you truly have, you know, people already saying they know him for fighting, they know him, you know, for this, you know, it truly doesn't help his case. You know, you didn't have teachers that came up there and speak. He didn't have, you know, people that worked with him, any managers, any family. He didn't have none of that actually can speak on his behalf, seeing on what he did and how he did it. And again, regardless of that, he did what he did, and he has to face those consequences at the end of the day. And that's it. That's all. That's how I look at it. You know, you have it right here. It says, Eddie Ross says Karmelo Anthony's situation is not about race. You know, I feel like so many people made it about race. Honestly, I'm just, you know, being real about it. People doing this regardless of, you know, whatever color, who's, you know, regardless of it, I look at it as it got to stop. It truly has to stop. You know, regardless of whatever color, it's not, I'm talking about black people, I'm talking about white people, I'm talking about that's one of those things that have to stop. People have to come together. You know, I said it yesterday that, you know, it's definitely more things that, you know, we have to worry about, that we are worrying about, you know, bigger things. I do feel like when it comes down to race, it is one of them. I'm not saying that it's easy to just brush away, but it can be easy to not talk about it. You know, I know a lot of people think about it. I know a lot of people, you know, will think different things, but at the same time, don't talk about it. Like I said, social media is a hell of a drug, and I say that because a lot of people especially do a lot of those things over social media. You can't go in a grocery store or go here, go there, and 9 times out of 10, that doesn't happen. You know, a lot of the time that doesn't happen verbally. Things that's said on the internet, trust me, it doesn't, race or not, a lot of things that's said on the internet doesn't happen. You can be texting somebody, flirting, saying this, saying that.
Unfortunately, you know, the Anthonys still continue to deflect.
Okay, I don't know what is playing right now.
The truth.
That is odd. Let's start playing. But regardless, I look at the simple fact, being real, that you wouldn't go and say that same thing you did. You know, you're doing it on the internet is what I'm trying to say. So regardless of it, one of those things is it got to stop. You know, you stop talking about it. People stop posting it, and I know it's something that is definitely tough because a lot of people are hard-headed, a lot of people love drama, a lot of people love to do things on the internet. But I'm telling y'all, and being real, honestly, if social media wasn't this strong and it wasn't Instagram and it wasn't X and it wasn't this and it wasn't that, and I'm not trying to say this is an excuse by all means, but like I said, social media is pretty strong. I feel as if it wouldn't be that much of a talk or that much of anything within this case if it wasn't put all over the internet and or Instagram wasn't the thing, X. You know, I truly feel as if it's one of those things because one thing about it's on the internet, people say things on the internet, and then on top of that, people love to keep up that drama. People love that race drama. People love this stuff. They feed off it. You know, and it's truly sad that people do. You know, it truly is sad. I'm telling y'all. You got it right here. Check out what this individual just said.
Our people have getting different right. Karmelo Anthony's case is just a tragedy. Excuse my language. But it is. So what are we going to do to fix those harms?
So she says that, you know, our people, obviously speaking on you know, the black community, and she brings up the Karmelo Anthony case. Karmelo Anthony, if I'm not mistaken, is still alive, for one. For two, why is it every time that I find it very interesting. She's not going to, in her community or somewhere else, as black on black crime, all this black on black crime is going down. I don't see her going to any of these places talking, saying this, saying that. I'm sure I won't find not a single video. But you do see a video of her speaking to a white man about black people that are literally, as she's saying, unalived by white people. Those things right there just goes to show you a lot. It truly goes to show you a lot that as long as these parents continue to feed these kids and these young adults, their daughters, their sons, all this BS, it would keep up. And that's why I get on here and I try my best. I try my best. And it's not that I'm all for this group of people. I'm all for this group of people. It's right or wrong. Regardless, it's right or wrong. If you're that type of person and you like that race drama and you like this, I don't support that. I don't support that at all. Support right or wrong. And Karmelo Anthony wasn't wrong with that. There's no way she should be saying that. I'm telling y'all right now. You got it right here. Big Question says, and people are saying they stand with Karmelo Anthony. I find it disturbing, find it disgusting, and I don't see how people think it's okay to stand with somebody that did something, so insane. Saying self-defense is not a crime. It definitely wasn't self-defense, but, people continue to run with it. Says, do y'all really think that Karmelo Anthony deserves to be in prison? Y'all let me know in the comments down below. Definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for the next video dropping tonight. Catch y'all next one.